What's up everyone, Jaxx Finn Galactic here, and today I'm bringing you my second place deck profile for my Lascaria deck. I played this yesterday for Divine Set 1 Fated Clash release tournament, release box tournament, and I went second place with it. I went 3-1 and only lost to Shiranui because I didn't have another Slidell Dreamblade in hand to guard with, which if I had it, I would have won the game my next turn, but it's just things happen and sometimes you just run out of cards to guard with sometimes. But this deck is really fun. It's very grindy, does not die. And all around, I just love the deck. The artwork's really amazing. Your Vanguard is super awesome and really beautiful. And hopefully I'm able to take the deck to even further heights. But without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. For the starter, we have Times of Happiness, Lascaria. It's a standard grade 0. When wrote upon, you in second, draw a card. I like having this one as my starting Vanguard just because it's a Lascaria and its card name, which all of your units need Lascaria as your Vanguard. And I just like having the grade 0 rest of the right line. For our grade 1, we have Days of Training Lascaria. Its skill is auto when wrote upon by a grade 2 card with its card name. You can search it out through one grade 2 or greater Blitz order without Regalia's piece in this card name. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. The card you're mostly searching out will be your Shadow Dreamblade. Just because it's the order of choice since it allows you to activate another order that turn. But in general, you just add that card in hand, or your it just to me is really good. Or you can also add, since it doesn't have Regalia's piece in the card name on his name, you can also add your Elementaria, which is also really fun to do since it's just a very really worth thing. So it's fun to know that you have a Elementaria, so they have to play around it. It's really funny to do. For the grade 2, we're running a copy of Oath Upon Mother's Sword at Lascaria. Its skill is auto when this unit is wrote upon by a grade 3 card with Lascaria's card name. You can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one normal unit with Veleno and its card name, or one Blitz order. From among them, reveal it and put it in your hand and shuffle the deck. It's good since all of your other support cards are named Veleno, so it'll help you look for any of those or any Blitz order that you might need for the turn, for your following for your opponent's turn, to help you kind of stay alive. Since this deck, Blitz orders pretty much make or break the deck, and you want to be able to keep alive for as long as possible, and that's why as many Blitz orders as possible. Because of your main grade 3 being Sword Princess of Dreamblade, Lascaria Veleno. Yes, it's just SR, by the way, in case you're wondering. I went the FFR for it, but somebody else voted it, but they're building the deck, so it's kind of sucked. I wasn't able to get it from them. Well, her skill is continuous Vanguard Circle during your turn. If you have 3 or more units with Veleno in their card name, including herself, all of your Veleno units get plus 5k power. And if you have 5 or more and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can get critical plus 1. With this deck, I tend to go second with this deck since I do want to hit energy as soon as possible. So I tend to go second so that I can get the 3 energy and have her first skill active as soon as I hit turn 3. So you want to go second at all times. Her second skill is the really big skill in this deck. It's continuous Vanguard Circle at the end of the battle. Your unit was attacked and was not hit. If you play a Blitz order in that battle, you can draw a card, and if you did not countercharge this turn, you countercharge 1. And since in this deck, you can activate anywhere from 2 to 4 Blitz orders, depending on what your opening hand, what your hand is. You can draw anywhere from 2 to 4 cards if you play your cards right, and you block the attacks you can block with Blitz orders. So it's really good for helping you get bigger hand size to where you don't end up dying a lot of times. And since you can always draw a card and you don't really need combats too much in this deck, you can just sit on 2 damage for the entire game and just watch your opponent just suffer. For me, I think the most damage I have taken in a single turn is 1, because I can countercharge the other one. So I would only need 1 damage to kind of help countercharge and build from the next turn, and I was able to win the game from there. She's really good in the deck, which is why you run 4 copies of her. You run 1 in the main deck, and 1 in the right deck, and 3 in the main deck. So that's not the right line. So you run 3 additional ones in the main deck as well, because you want to hit percent every single turn. Which in this deck, I think I had a problem that one game where I didn't hit percent at all but I'll still be able to win the game because I was able to hit 5 attacks every single my grade 3 turns. So it didn't really matter though, all too much. And I wasn't a threat of dying either, which is also really cool. And some of that, when getting against Shiranui, I hit like 4 times at like 4 damage, like 4 to 5 damage. I kept hitting heal triggers, which was super nice. For the other grade 3 we're running 4 copies of Veleno Eris. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, but he's the backup. He's the support grade 3. What he does is auto Vanguard, auto Rigor Circle once per turn. At the end of the battle, your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Lascaria and his card name attacked, and your opponent is grade 3 or greater. You counterblast 1 standard unit, and if you have 3 or more units with Veleno's card name, you can give it +5 to end of turn. So he's 23 stands with a +5 to make him an 18k attacker. But since you have Lascaria and Vanguard, and you just have 2 of these on your front row, he's attacking for he's a 23k restander, which is super nice. Pretty much he's helping you push for your 5 attacks, since you would normally do. You would attack with both of these 2 first, attack with Veleno, with Lascaria, restand these 2 at the end of her battle, and get 5 more attacks in. Which means you give your triggers to these to the 2 grade 3s. Doubling hit for really big numbers, which I like doing and super fun. They were, I think, in my game against Direfordall, they were hitting for like 38 and 45 respectively. Like one of them hitting for like 38, the other one's hitting like for like 45 or 55, and with it critical. And it was in that critical one of the game, since my opponent was at 4 damage, and he didn't hit a single trigger. I also won against a Raziel player on a double critical. So he was at 5 damage, and he used his divine skill his last turn and wasn't able to hit a trigger at all on a critical. So that was really fun. The fact that just ignores Raziel's divine skills is super funny to me. Because it's a defensive deck, so you don't expect it to do much, and no one expected me to hit really big numbers like that. For the grade 2s, we're running 4 copies of the grade 2 Veleno. I don't know how to pronounce any of their names, so I'm sorry. I'm pretty much stuck at this. I suck at pronunciations, but you're on pretty much 4 copies of her. What she does is auto when it's put unit placed on Rigor Circle other during the battle phase. If you have your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Lascaria and his card name, you can discard a card from your hand, choose up to 1 different card from name from your from this unit and from your drop, call it the Rigor Circle if it's grade 3 or less, or if it's a Blitz order, you add it to your hand. So pretty much she helps you get back your grade 3s, help you get back your grade 3 Velenos or your grade 1s, or help you get back any Blitz order you might need, which is usually your Dream Blade. She's really good for like helping you recover things. The card you mostly are dropping are your trigger units, since you don't really need your triggers for Guardian Power since you use Blitz orders anyways. But if you ever have multiple copies of her in your hand, you can either drop copies of her, or you can drop any of your trigger units, since you don't really need your triggers, since your Blitz orders usually guarding for bigger numbers anyways. But it's up to you though. I personally like dropping triggers, since in this deck I don't really need my triggers to guard with most of the time. But it's not the personal preference though. Next up for grade 2s, we're running 4 copies of Sea Rumble Brave Shooter. This card is a really good cycle card for Stokeo. What it does is auto when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle from hand or discard it from hand during your ride phase. When riding from your ride deck, you can either Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3 to draw a card, which in this deck, going second, you drop him to Energy Blast 3, draw a card, and get two free draws that turn, which is super good. Trying to help you get to both Persona rides and your Blitz order is just super awesome. And the second skill doesn't really matter for this deck, but it's auto when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle. If you Persona this turn, Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3, choose a grade 2 or less unit with a different card name from your units without Sentinel from your drop, or an order card from your drop, and put it into your hand. If you chose a card from your hand, discard it. Then choose the card from hand, discard it. That skill doesn't really matter in this deck whatsoever. You're mostly using him just as a draw power. I guess you could use him as another attacker, but you kind of messes up with your Veleno names, or Veleno names, so you kind of don't really call him the Rigor Circle unless you absolutely have to. I'm mostly using him for discarding and for like anything that requires me to discard a card, or if I need him just to write up. It's just for that, really. So you run 4 copies of him. Really good card. And the last card is 1 copy of Morpho. Pretty much, she's supposed to be replacing the deck with another Blitz order. I just don't know which one I'm putting in the deck yet. But she's really good at helping you get back your Blitz orders. And she's also a 10k attacker. If you have a Blitz order and drop, you can swap +1, give her 10k power at the end of the battle. And then at the end of the battle, she attacked. You attack the Vanguard. You can combat +1, bind her, search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or greater Blitz order without regardless piece in the card name. Put it in your hand, shelf the deck. And then if a Blitz order is in your drop card, you may search for a normal order instead, which in this deck you want to be searching for your Blitz orders. It's good for that, but in this deck you also kind of need your combats for your grade 3s, so you don't really use her skill. You mostly use the first one if you need to get a bigger attacker. It's also used for that. But she's going to replace with another Blitz order, probably another Honeybee order, or another random order I can find. No random Blitz order. That's really good. I don't know. I haven't decided. For the grade 1s, we're running 4 copies of the grade 1 Blino. Blino Flory? Or 4A? I don't know how to pronounce her name. But she's really good too. She pretty much helps you get all your Blino cards, since what she does is auto when it's unit placed on the Rigor Circle. If you have a Lascaria Vanguard, you can combat +1, the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 Veleno card or 1 Blitz order from among them. Reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. You can also add to your hand your Elementars, which is also really good. And then on top of that, she's also a tank. She also gets +2k power if you have a Lascaria Vanguard. So she's always a 10k booster, which is super nice. And she also can be a 10k attacker if you absolutely need to, which I have done before. But she's mostly just send the back. You have 3 of them back row behind each one of your front row units, and she's able to get them +10k power, hit them hit for amazing numbers, which is always super nice. And finally, for the last units in the deck, you're running 3 Perfect Guards. This is standard generic Perfect Guards, where if you have 2 less cards in hand, you don't have to discard a card. 1 less card in hand, I think. Or you have 2 more cards in hand, you discard a card. If otherwise you don't have to. It just get here for protection. In case your opponent hits a really big number and you don't have the orders to guard with it, you can Perfect Guard it. Just generic and standard. I guess we'll do the triggers next, since triggers are kind of just simple in this deck. We are running 4 Abyss Temptation crit triggers. 3 Sylvan Horned Beast Jackalope critical triggers, and then 1 Tier Knight Kostas critical trigger. So 8 critical triggers in the deck. Since you want to hit criticals in this deck, kind of pressure your opponent. 4 heal triggers. This one is an effect trigger, which comes up from time to time if against strike decks, which is why I play this. It's just for strike decks mostly, just because it gives me a 20k shield if it comes up and I need it. Which it did come up. It was very helpful against Shiranui matchup. And then we're running 3 draw triggers, since you want to draw as much as possible in the deck to get your Blitz orders. And then the 1 Bless Favor, because it's just a really good over trigger and this Soul KO, in my opinion. The Soul KO one and the Brain Gate over triggers are, to me, are like 2 of the most busted over triggers there is. Unless you count Shiranui and the Dragon Empire one, that one's also really good. And finally, for our Blitz orders, we're running 4 copies of Effervescent Shadow Dreamblade. What this card does is you play this card with Energy Blast 2. Choose a unit being attacked. It gets +20k power +20k until the end of that battle. And you can play another Blitz order this turn, which they can stack if you play one after the other, and then another one. So in a single turn, you can play 5 Blitz orders. If you have 5 Blitz orders in hand and you have 4 of these, you can play 5 Blitz orders in a turn and you will draw 5 cards, which is super nice. And I kind of have to people that they do stack up, and it is very nice, because otherwise it's just a very good thing to do. And honestly, this card here is pretty much what you're searching out of your drop zone 99% of the time. If you can add Blitz order from drop to hand or from deck to hand, you're adding this card 100% of the time, because it can just provide you with so much advantage. And it's just really good to have a 20k shield. Next up, running 3 copies of Sweet Honey Garden. with this card is you just play this card with +1. Choose the unit being attacked, it gets plus 15k power. Into the end of the battle, if you have a Blitz in the drop, it gets plus 25 instead of plus 15. So it's a lot better than the Effervescent Dreamblade, but it does provide but thing is though that once you play it, you can't play any more Blitz after the fact, which is why you want to play this, combo this with the Shadow Dreamblade, because it's really good. And I think I might kick out that one grade 2 and put in another Honey Garden, because the Honey Garden is really good for really awkward numbers usually. And then next up, we're running the one copy of Elementary Sanctitude. It's another Perfect Guard. Really good against triple drive decks, which is mostly stride decks, which was really good against Shiranui yesterday. Kind of helped me survive a turn against Shiranui. The one copy of Evergreen Transfer. This did come up when my opponent did give a trigger to a unit. I did kind of have to use this in order to protect myself from a double critical. They didn't have another critical on the thing. I just didn't have the power. I didn't have the thing to guard it, so I did make it so that they wasn't doing me damage with it, which is kind of funny. That they swung, and I was used this to protect myself. I was able to draw a card from it, and made so that their attack still hit, but they didn't do any damage, which was funny. And then the card that I wasn't planning on playing in the deck, but is really good in the deck, is 2 copies of Mythiac Habitat. I literally picked these up yesterday because they're box toppers, and I didn't know they were box toppers. Excuse me. So I really picked these up two of these yesterday, and it's really good helping you search for your deck. Because what it does is when you play it, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card called with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, and call it the Rearguard Circle, which is really good since you want to call as many Valeno units as possible to your Rearguard Circle. So it's really good for helping you search your deck for that stuff, like top 7 cards of your deck, which is like which is like a good portion of your deck, and especially in the late game. Which was super lucky. I hit this. I think I used it like once in my Shiranui matchup, and it really almost won me the game right then and there, which was super awesome. But it was like a last minute addition since I didn't have this card and I wasn't planning on playing it. But this card is really good in the deck. But yeah, that's it for my deck profile of my Valeno deck. This deck is so much fun. I am very happy that I built it, and I honestly plan on playing this deck a lot more. I do plan on doing a Wellster deck profile soon, since once I get that situated, along with Castellano and probably Hero, but Heroes probably will wait until I get the new support, since the new support is really busted for Heroes. This is all I got, so until next time, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to send me anything in the mail, or like fan mail, cards, packs, and stuff to open up on the channel, my PO box will be in the description of the video, along with all my social media stuff. You want to follow me there and message me and talk to me. And with that being said, this is Jaxx Finn, signing out.